All right, welcome guys. Welcome back to another session of the Learning Circles. So today we will be having Franz again for our mentorship, and yeah, I'm really glad to have see some really familiar faces. So we will have more participants later. We have someone coming in from Indonesia, so say hi to our participants in Indonesia as well. Um, all right. So to begin with, for those who haven't been introduced to Eskwelabs yet, so let me just run down quickly who are we. So Eskwelabs is an education edtech startup company. We were founded in Singapore last year, and we've been operating in the Philippines for around a year now. So what we do is we train data scientists for the future of work. And yeah, we have almost produced around 100 data scientists in the Philippines. So we inspire, equip, and connect young people to opportunities of in the future of work. So the future of work will be like the fourth industrial revolution. So there will be lots of jobs in terms of automation and analyzing data. So yeah, we have different programs for data skills such as business intelligence, data analytics, and data science. So for this, we have our free prep course for the Data Science Fellowship. So this is called Aral-Aral. So about Aral-Aral, so what's it all about? So Aral-Aral is Eskwelabs' online self-paced course for aspiring data scientists. So it brings together the best of online learning, and the best of online learning and community-based learning as an online data learning resource for everyone. So it's free for everyone, forever. So right, so if you want to check more details about Aral-Aral, you can check on the link provided. So how do we access Aral-Aral? First, you need to sign up in the data science bootcamp to receive the free prep course. And then once you have already signed up, you can check on your email to activate your account. Then once you are in the platform, you can use the learning contents provided so that you could study data science on your own time. Then you could join our Facebook group for more updates. So, yep, the learning circles are our free tutorial sessions for our community members who wants to learn more and wants to practice Python and statistics. So today, this December, we will have 4 sessions. Today, we will have the last session for basic Python with Franz. Next week, we will have a session with Bash. So Bash Albert is our lead, and he will be teaching more of like the applications of statistics for data science. All right. So I hope everyone has installed their Anaconda. We will be using Anaconda or Jupyter notebooks for our sessions all throughout. So Anaconda is a free distribution of Python in our programming languages. So here is the PC version. So please download it, or this is the MacBook version. And alternatively, if you don't have a Jupyter notebook yet, you can, I mean, if you don't have a Jupyter notebook yet, you could use Google Colab. So Google Colab has the same functionality as Jupyter Notebook. So yep, you can use this for our session for today. So for our session, you could use the link provided. So it's bit.ly December LC student file. So I will upload the Jupyter notebook that we will be using for today. So, all right, let's start learning with Franz. So for those who have not yet met Franz last week, so Franz is a data science fellow at Eskwelabs from the 5th cohort of the fellowship, where he worked on text analysis using the Twitter data to understand the mental health situation of the Philippines in quarantine, with a goal to aid mental health professionals to promote awareness and importance of mental health, especially in the turbulent times. So he's also, oh, sorry. Let me share it again. I pressed it accidentally. So, all right, going back, Franz is also a junior machine learning engineer at Omdena. So, Omdena is a collaborative platform to build AI solutions for real-world problems. He pursues art, particularly philosophy, media, photography, and theater in his own free time. And advocates for education and environment and mental, and especially the youth. So Franz does a lot of things for his passion. So I guess we could start the session with Franz. So Franz, can you share your screen so
Yeah.
we could start coding along?
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Franz.
Okay. So give me one moment. There. Okay. So hi guys. Nice to see that some people are familiar. So nice and nice to meet everyone who's new here. And today we'll be tackling the basics of Python, right? Okay, so yeah, just to add, I'm also a computer engineering student at Ateneo right now, and I was the Aral-Aral Scholar of last cohort. So I was one of the fellows, and yeah, just to have everyone know right off the bat, there are scholarships available for the fellowship and for the other programs we have in Eskwelabs. So we'll talk about that more near the end of the session. And yeah, so I have 5 data science projects under my belt with the help of Eskwelabs, and I'm working on a lot right now. And these are my stacks for tech. So if you have any questions around that, my LinkedIn is there. Feel free to connect with me. Yeah. So when we start with Python, right, we go to the absolute basics. That's also what Aral does. But going from there, it's kind of hard to see the big picture because you start working with simple problems and sometimes you don't know where you're going. So for now, I want us to look at the big picture before we go deep into the basics, into the foundations, right? So these are some of the projects that I have worked on with Eskwelabs: a credit card fraud system, a Spotify recommender engine, a science wiki chatbot, and a mental health in quarantine capstone. So all of this I did with the help of Python. And it's amazing because you never would have imagined that you can make something tangible like the Spotify recommender engine. Um, it's something that I was able to deploy into Spotify itself. So if you have any passions, like even if it's in art and music, like how I do, it's something that you can definitely work towards, even with something as technical as Python. So I just want you guys to think about that and maybe share in the chat a little intro. Tell us your why you joined this learning circle, what you want to learn. Yeah. Okay. So I want to share Pat the science bot because she's actually up on Telegram right now. So give me a sec. I will have her ready for you. So if you go on Telegram, you can actually search her right now. Um, Sorry. Okay. So this is her. Okay. Okay. So feel free to chat her as well, and all you need to do is, of course, to say hi. So do you guys see the Telegram right now? Yeah. Okay. Give me one moment. It's loading in. Okay, so if you guys see, Pat the Science Bot said hi to us, and what you can actually do is already ask it. So, hi, what is an atom? So, this is something that we worked on for the last sprint, and what it does is it uses natural language processing. So you could ask it like, you could just say atom, and then it should be able to find what you're trying to ask and give you the same output. So it's little stuff like this that you can actually work on, and this is interesting because you can even send it images, and it should be able to give you what you need. So if you send it a picture of an atom, you should be able to search for it.
Kasing
So
hot ko, girl.
um, the thing that I want to share about this is that it looks like a pretty simple output, right? Because it's just something that gives you a little bit of text and then an image about the topic. But with every data science projects, you always have a goal. You always have a problem that you're trying to solve, right? So for this, we were actually trying to help kids who didn't have that much access to the internet to be able to still search for scientific topics. So I won't delve into much about what else it can do, but this is something that you can actually work on just with starting from Python. So let's go back. So um, it's not the beauty of a building you should look at. It's this construction of the foundation that will stand the test of time. Because, you know, I just said I had 5 data science projects. But with all of those 5, it always boiled down to the foundation, which was actually Python. And that's why we have this learning circle here, because from Python, that's where you can really reach higher. That's where you can really explore. Because once you have the foundation down, you'll definitely be able to do a lot of stuff, maybe stuff that even I don't know about yet. So if there's only one thing in this talk that I want you guys to remember, is that you've already taken the first step, and everyone from Eskwelabs is already so proud of you for taking it. And yeah, so with that, I just want to share, this is the contents of what we'll be working on today. So just a review of basic Python, you know, variables, data types, operations, and the tools. Then we'll move on to strings and lists. So how we'll work with them, how we can kind of manipulate them a bit. And then we'll go to control structures. So if statements, loops. If you're familiar with other programming languages, this is very, very powerful. And for the people who want to take the exam for Aral-Aral, you'll have, this will be a very big part of that exam. So before we move on, I want to ask everyone, like, from this set of topics, are there any problems that you want me to address particularly? Is there something that you really have trouble with? So please send it in the chat so that we can really hone in on what we really need, because this session will not be a lecture. I want to make that clear that this is not a lecture. This is more for us to practice, to really see how to code. So I want everyone to really code with me, because yeah. Okay. So again, if is there anything that you guys want to hone in on from this set of topics, please just send it in the chat so that we can focus on it and I can help you guys through. Okay. So yeah, with that, we can just get right into coding. If you don't have Jupyter, again, you can open Colab as. Okay, so I have my Jupyter ready, but just to show, you can actually just type Anaconda. So I use the prompt, which is a little bit faster. And then all you have to do is type Jupyter Notebook. So after you type this and click enter, it should open something like this. And also, just to show, this was the code for the chatbot. So yeah, it might seem overwhelming, but you'll build up to it, I swear. Okay. Okay. So as an initiation for any programmer out there, we always need to output hello world. So for us, it's just print hello world. So yes, I want. Are you guys okay so far? Can I please get uh, a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you have Jupyter up, if you have Colab ready? Because again, I really want you guys to code. I really want you to type out and really feel what it feels like to actually have it down there. Right. Thank you. Um, yeah, please send a yes in the chat if you guys are okay, or if you guys have any questions or trouble with opening up Jupyter. Hey Alex, so just open up a Jupyter notebook or a Google Colab notebook. Yeah. So right. Okay. So if you don't have Jupyter open, you can always open Google Colab. Right. So again, starting with Hello World. Okay. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes to have Jupyter or Google Colab set up. And please send a yes in the chat. So I'm expecting around 23 yeses in the chat. Yeah? Right. Thanks, guys. Nice, nice. Okay, wait a second.
Hey guys, wait lang. Wait a minute. I think Franz got disconnected. So let's wait him to come back. So I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. All right, so wait a minute. So for the meantime, what I will be doing is I will be sharing the Jupyter notebook for today so that you could also see. Um, so where did we stop? Uh, we have done around basics of Python, arithmetics, and then yep, we're trying out. Right now, we're trying out PEMDAS and the math problems. So yeah, I guess you could try it while Franz is reconnecting. Yeah, I think it's back. Hey Franz, are you?
Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
are you there?
Sorry. Okay.
All right. I just shared the screen for them to kind of try. So we can continue, I guess, if you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Right. So, just a little recap of what Python can do and what we can start coding with. So, of course, it has arithmetic operations, but this is a little bit more advanced, like floor division and how it interacts with the int and float. I won't go into detail too much, but I want you guys to experiment on this. But yeah, so let's try it out right now. So remember that Python uses PEMDAS, so we focus on parentheses and then etc. So what we do is print and then 1070 plus 5. And remember in Python to do square, we do the two asterisks to do power. So 5 raised to 2. And then this entire thing all over 13. Yeah, and then you should get something like this. So I want you guys to try it out on this equation here. And yeah, if you guys are done, send in the code of what you put. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes for this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just send it in the chat. And again, this will be more like this entire session will be more on exercises and just me focusing on um, a few of the intricacies. So if you have any questions, like any at all, please feel free to chat And if you're shy, you could chat it to me directly or to Gerard. Yeah, 1 more minute, guys. Right. So yeah, if you guys are done, feel free to send in the code that you got so we could check. So just remember using print and then use parentheses where you can. I suggest, even if it's like the normal thing in PEMDAS, to put parentheses so it's a bit clearer, but it's totally up to you guys as well. Okay, so if everyone's okay, if there are no questions, we can move on to the next operators. Right. So when checking for logic in Python, we use a little bit of a different format. So when you're checking if something is equal to, you need two equal signs, and then not equal to is exclamation point, and then the greater than or less than is like pretty simple. So this results in either true or false. True is the same as 1 and false is the same as 0. And another operator that we use for this is and or. So this will be a pretty this will actually come up in the exam, and this is very important for any programming language. So for and, just always remember that it all needs to be true for it to output true, and for or, it all needs to be false for it to output false. So if we go ahead and try that out, let's do print true and false. Can someone in the chat tell what this would output? So always remember that for and, it needs to be true for all for it to output true. Okay. Right. So once we print this out, this should give us false. So this needs to be all true. There you go. Thank you, Maki. Right. So if we change this to true, this should output true now. Yeah? Okay. So let's change it up a bit just so you guys get used to it. If I type this, oh shit, my bad. So if I type 5 greater than 7 and let's say true, what would this output? So remember that logic operators like this will output true or false. So once I have this, what would it output? Yeah, right. Thank you, Maki. So once we try this out, it's actually false. Yeah, because this the same as false. So remember this, it seems very simple, but it will get more complex and more complex. Like you can mix up and or, so we can put false here, and then it might change what will come out. So yeah, do you guys have any questions about logic operators so far? Um, does everyone understand, or are there any questions? Okay, so if none, we can move on to functions. So this is a little bit more advanced, but basically what functions are for is so that you can reuse the same blocks of code, right? Because sometimes you have to repeatedly use the same block of code. So instead of typing all of this like 10 times, all you have to do is create a function. So the syntax for making a function for Python is just def, the function name, and then open and close parentheses, and inside are variables you need if there's anything that you need from them. Yeah? Okay. So this is an example of a function that checks if a number given to it. So remember, if it's in the open and close parentheses, it's given to it. And it checks if it's divisible by 7. So modulo checks if there is a remainder. And if the remainder is 0, that means it's divisible. So it returns true if it's divisible, otherwise it returns false. So to call a function, all you need to do is to get the variable name and then give it a value or whatever you need. Yeah. So for here, we're checking if 7 is divisible by 7. So it should return true. There we go. So we can add is divisible by 7. And then let's check if 12 is divisible. So this should return false. Yeah. So this is just a really quick example of what a function is, and these will be very, very powerful. Like if you saw the chatbot code a little while ago, it is full of functions. Yeah, a lot of defs, because it'll be reused a lot. Okay. So as a quick exercise, I want you guys to create a function for that calculates the area of a triangle and then returns that value. And for the people that I know have already tried this, I want you guys to go one step further and try this exercise out. So if you I'll give you guys 3 minutes to try this first one out, and you guys can go ahead and try this next one once you finish early. So once you're done, just type done in the chat. Yeah. And again, if there are any questions, feel free to just chat. If you're lost or if you're not sure what to do, please tell me, because yeah, that's really the point of this learning session. Nice. Someone's already done. Okay, let's just wait a bit and then we can check. You can go ahead and try this next exercise. 1 minute left, guys. So, hi Jeff. The exercises are here. I'm showing them and resending here. Right, it's 3:36. So let's check if our Armeline's answer is correct. All we have to do here is to remember to do return. So just return 1/2 times base times height. So it's this simple, really, for a function, and you could reuse this code how many times you want. So again, to call the function, all you need to do is area triangle, and then give it the values that you want. So it's 7 and 292. So yeah, I got the same answer as Armelin. So nice, good job. Right. So, are there any questions so far for functions? And we can go ahead and try this one too. So let's say def p triple, and then a colon. If so I'm just checking if this equation is correct, right? We'll dive deeper into if statements later. But yeah, for the people who tried out this exercise, this is how I would do it, and then just else print. Yep. So yeah, so what we need to do here is just check, and then it should return actually. But we could just do print for a function. Okay. A sec. Oh yeah, so don't forget the open close parenthesis, A, B, and C. Yeah, and again, to call a function, all you need to do is give the name p triple and give it 3 values. So let's do 1, 0, 1. Yeah, so that's basically how you do a function, use a function to solve for this kind of problem. Right. So are there any questions regarding functions and how to make them, or how it works, how return works? Because, you know, as you can see, this one doesn't have a return. So yeah, return is just giving it a value, but you don't always have to use return. Sometimes you just need to print out, and that's okay. So yeah, are there any questions around that? Okay. So if there are none, we can move on to the Alright, so if there are none, we can move on to the second part actually of the learning session, which is working on strings and lists. Right. So when working with strings, it's the same as numbers actually, But as data scientists, we don't always just work with numbers. Like as you saw a while ago, I worked with Twitter data, and we worked with words, tweets, to be able to find meaning. And that's a big part of data science. So if you're interested in that, in literature, in the English language, or just language in general, NLP is something. So natural language processing will need a heavy understanding of how to work with lists and strings. So it's the same. This is how you create a variable. So I made two variables, right? It's first name and last name. Sorry, right? So the first thing I want to show you guys is that you can actually do operations. It's just let's say first name plus last name. So this should output my full name, right? Oops, my bad. To run this out. There we go. So it outputted my full name. And just a little note, it does not include a space, so you have to be careful with that, right? So let's add a space here, and there we go. So strings are actually really powerful, especially in Python, because you can do so much with them. Here are some of the methods that are always used: dot lower, dot upper, strip, dot find, and replace. So lower and upper just means changing the case, because sometimes people, let's say I type my name like this, right? But when you want to store it, you don't want it to look like that. So you can use methods like dot lower, dot upper to be able to kind of clean it a little bit. And strip. So sometimes people add, let's say, a space here or a space at the start. So strip just removes those white spaces, so it comes out cleaner. And find is just finding something within a string. And replace is, well, it's kind of like find, but when it finds something, it changes it, right? So are there any questions around string methods? Yes, Lance. We do have regex in Python. So you can definitely use that. But we won't cover that for today. So yeah. But okay. So if you want to try this out, all you have to do is give it a string. So first name, and then just type it. So dot lower. There. So let's say I start with this actually. It gives me Franz, and I want to remove that white space. So all you need to do is strip. So there you go. This is how you use methods, by the way. You put it at the end. So this can even be a string. So, oops. Yeah. So if there are no questions, we can move on to lists. Okay. So lists, they are kind of like arrays in different programming languages. But what it has a length, and each character or each element inside a list has an index. So it kind of like has a little address, right? And you've actually already been working with lists, because when you work with a string is a list of characters. So when I want to find the first letter, that has index 0. So as programmers, we actually always count starting 0. Yeah? Here we go. So to be able to access, let's say, that first letter, so from this string, right? Let's say this string is just Eskwelabs. Yeah? If I want to get, let's actually save it. Let's put it in my string. Yeah. So if I want to get the first, all you need to do is use square brackets and then give the index. So again, starting with 0. And it should give us the first letter, the first element. So yeah, this is already accessing and indexing in lists. Okay. So is everyone okay with that? Are there any questions surrounding lists and the index? Okay. So yeah, if there are none, we can move on to list comprehension. So we can do so much more with lists. Yeah. We can actually sort them. So it's just sorted. Sorted. Let's try. Let's try putting our string in here and let's see what happens. My string. Yeah. So what it does is each of these characters actually has a value, and it already sorts it in an increasing order because big letters have a smaller value. So yeah, you'll be able to use this, let's say, when you want to do it like alphabetically and stuff. And when we're saying slicing, it's like you're taking a certain part of the string or of the list. So here's an example so I can share. I needed to look at hashtags for Twitter, but when you're actually looking at it, you don't need the actual hashtag. You have to get rid of it. Otherwise, your code won't work. So the first thing that I have to do is to get rid of it, right? But how do I get like not just the first letter? In Python, all you need to do is let's save this as tag. So let's say this is my hashtag. All I need to do is say tag and then 1 because I'm not taking the first one. So I start with 1 and then I put a colon because the colon says from 1 all the way to what. So I'm not sure how long this is, so we can just leave it blank for now and it should give us the entire string without the first letter. So you can do this in a bunch of other ways. Maybe you could just take up to the 4th. So there you go. It takes the first 4. It should take the first 4. Yeah. So here you go. Let's try an exercise on how it would look like. So here we have a list of strings and numbers, which is something you can do. You can have mixed types. But what we need to do is to change this into this. So the first thing we did was we made the numbers into strings. So you can change the type of variables or of data through this. So just put string, and we have this thing called join for strings that when you have a list, it makes it into one string. So what you'll get is a string of all of these elements combined. Yeah? And make sure that this has a space, because if it doesn't, it'll give you this. So there's no space. So yeah. You guys should have this. So that yeah. Okay. So let's see replace in action. We talked about it a little bit a while ago, but this is how it would look like when you need to use it. So for here, we have this string, right? But we need to get rid of 7 and 8. We have to make them into their word equivalents. So what we need to use is dot replace. We have the original string, dot replace 7, and then just give it the value that you need. So this is what the syntax is. And always remember to keep this at the start because you're changing the variable. So there you go. You should have changed 7 and 8 into their word equivalents. So you're already working with strings and lists at the same time. So let's go. Okay, so I want you guys to try this exercise out. All you need to do is get rid of the first and last elements of the list and then check if a number n is in the list. So yeah, let's say n is equal to 8. Okay, I'll give you guys 3 minutes for this as well. So yeah, if you are lost or you have any questions on how to start or anything, please just send it in the chat. So 3 minutes, guys. Sorry. Okay. So to check if something is in the list, all you need to do is do in. Yeah. So 8 in list. This will give you true or false. Right. So for this exercise, you have a starting list here, and the first thing that is said to do is to get rid of the first and the last. Yeah. So to do that, all you need to do is index it to getting the first all the way until 4. So fourth. Yeah. Oops. So yeah, my bad. Should be 5. Yeah. So remember that the last element is not included. So it'll go until the 4th index instead of the one with 5. Okay, so we already trimmed it, and all we need to do now is check if 8. So it's just 8 in there. So because we got rid of 8, it should output false. Yeah. So let's change this to 7 to see true. Yeah. So this is really just a simple example of what you can do with slicing and how you could go from something like this all the way to something like a chatbot. Okay. Right. So from here we can take a short break. Yeah. Take a short break, and then everyone be back by 3:58. So if you have any questions about anything about what we've discussed so far or about Eskwelabs in general, feel free to chat while we have a short break. Okay. Stretch, guys. Always remember to stretch. Maybe get a snack or a beverage. Yeah, we went through a lot actually, from variables and operations all the way to functions and lists. Working with lists just in a short while. So yeah, good job so far. How are you guys going? It's also 12/12, so if anyone's done some Christmas shopping. Machine learning is included in the Aral-Aral Plus. So I can give you a little snapshot of what it would look like. So right now we're kind of skimming through the basics, but Aral-Aral Plus will give you a really comprehensive guide like this. So if you guys can see, it's really going through at it like step by step all of the way, and you'll get a total of 14 notebooks, if I'm not mistaken, that leads from Python all the way to machine learning. So data visualization, pandas, NumPy, Seaborn for sure. So yeah, you guys will get these resources when you sign up for Aral Plus, and it's actually at 50% off right now. And yeah, if you want to go to the fellowship, machine learning is also a really big part there. I know next cohort will work on deep learning and AI, actually. Yeah, 12/12 sale. It's on the Facebook page. It was posted. And you can also go to our website, so eskwelabs.com. Right. So it's 3:59. Let's go to the last part of this session. So it's just a quick run through of conditionals. We've actually already been working with them. So this is just using the logic operators. It's always just true or false. So just a small little pipeline is just it's a yes or no. If it's true, it does this. If it's no, it does this. So yeah. This will be a very big part of your journey in programming or in any, because when you're working on any project, there will always be conditionals, there will always be different paths, and it can even go more complex as you go along. So here is a nested if loop. So after an if, you'll get another if. So yeah. I won't go too much into this, but are there any questions surrounding if-else statements? So we've already been working with them. It's just if, and then, a conditional. Let's say 5 is greater than 6, and then the same, you put the colon, and then it does something. Print, no. Oops. So let's say there. Yeah. So in Python, you just do elif if you have a second statement, something like this. And if there's nothing else, all you need to do is type else. Then this is usually the default. So if there are any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat about if else, but I won't go too much into this, so we can focus on our last stop, which is loops. So, okay, I'll do a quick rundown. So a for loop, this is really interesting for Python, that you can do for item in sequence. So this is just for x in any variable you have, and this is a list or a string or anything that you can have different stuff. So Army, why did you raise your hand? Is everything okay? You can just chat or unmute if you'd like. And yeah, so if you're looking at a for loop through this, if you just want to check every one, all you have to do is this syntax for item, or this could be anything. So for X in sequence, and then print it. So yeah, it just checks everything. And just to show the different loops, so while is here as well. So you start with a counter, and then each time it checks, and then it does something, and then you increase or decrease depending on what you have it done. And then this is an introduction to range. So it's like the while loop, but it's a little bit cleaner, and it's also a for loop. So there you go. So there are a lot of different ways to make loops. I'll have you guys experiment on this on your own, or if you guys have any questions. But this will be a really big part if you're working with other developers or also in the exam, because sometimes they have you convert it from for loop to while loop, but it actually does the same thing or just a bit different. So there you go. And yeah, you'll also have these exceptions, so you can break, continue, or try except. Just for a quick overview, break means that, let's say if it's true, it skips this entire thing, so it goes on to the next sequence. Yeah, so let's say this will only output until it sees something that's divisible by 2, and then it breaks, it finishes the loop. For continue, it's the exact opposite, and try except is a little bit more advanced, but all it does is just it keeps trying except for a specific case. So I won't go into this too much. You'll have resources in Aral-Aral and Aral-Aral Plus. So if you have any questions, go ahead. But yeah. Okay, so as a quick exercise, I want you guys to try this. Yeah. So this is what it would look like if you're trying to get all of the divisible by 2's. This is one way to do it. So it's from range starting from 2 all the way to 20. But again, 20 is not included. That's a little tidbit that you have to get used to when working with range. And then, yeah, the third is actually a step. So how much it adds. So there you go. So I want you guys to actually try make this into a while loop. Okay. For Alex, actually, when you try print this, I'm not sure if it works actually. Yeah, it should be an error because print is actually a function, like the ones that you guys made. So what it needs to have is round, so parentheses. It has to be parentheses because that's the syntax. And what you're doing is you're giving it a value that it outputs. So it has to be open and close parentheses. So when you're using square brackets, it's usually when you're working with lists. So something like, when you're working with something like this, that's when you use square brackets. But for printing or for functions, it's always round brackets. So you just have to get the feel of it. Again, you'll get it through practice because the more you type it out, the more you'll get used to it. But yeah. So just remember that parentheses for functions and square brackets for lists and strings. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Alex. Good question, though. Very good question. Okay. So are there any questions on loops, the different loops, or break and continue, or just range? Are there any questions, or is everyone okay? So one more minute or a minute or two to try and convert this into a while loop. And if anyone's done, just type done in the chat or share your code in the chat so we can have it checked. Nice. All right. Great job, Maki. Okay, so I'll actually get your code and try to run it, and let's see what happens. Okay. There you go. All right. It's the same output. Great work. So what Maki did was she started with a variable that said 2 and it checks. So is 2 less than 20? So it's true. That means it has to print it out. So it printed it out and then it added 2. So then after this, the value becomes 4 and then it goes back and it keeps checking until it reaches a certain number where it's no longer less than 20. So yeah, great job. Great job, Maki. Okay. So for looping in lists, you can use something like this for loop that we were working with, like with range. But there's this shortcut actually for looping through lists like this. So it has to be enclosed in square brackets, which means that it becomes a list. So as we talked about earlier, and then the for is actually beside the thing that you want to do. So just an interesting way to work with lists, and this is actually like it looks a lot cleaner. And sometimes this might trip you up, like maybe other developers use this, or if you're planning to take the exam, it might look like this. So don't be scared. It does the exact same thing as this, but it's just condensed. So yeah, there you go. These are our final exercises. Okay. So I want you guys to create a loop that prints out the first 10 numbers that are divisible by 3 and 4. So you can use a for loop. You can use the shortcut if you want to try. So if you want to try using this, or you could use the while loop. So yeah, go ahead, guys. I'll give you 5 minutes, or actually 3 minutes to work on this. So I'll check back at you at 4:12. And if there are any questions, feel free to send it in the chat. Yeah. If anyone's done, just type done in the chat, or you can share your code. Okay, so it's 412. Let's try to solve this together now, or if anyone wants to share. But you can just do 4 n in range 10, and then it prints. If n modulo 3 is equal to 0, and n modulo 4. Oops. And then it prints it out. So print n. Oops. What happened? Oh no. There we go. Okay, so my bad, it wasn't in the tens range. But there you go. It's just the having two ifs and then using and then print. So see, like if you have 100 numbers and you're looking for just a specific few, loops will definitely help you. So it'll really help you to get used to loops because you'll use it a lot. You'll really use it a lot, especially as data scientists, because we'll be working with thousands of data or even more, sometimes tens of thousands. So yeah, this will be just a few more exercises. So let's go a bit more deeper, a bit deeper. So let's work on a vowel counter, right? Right. So this is working with loops again and with lists. So we have vowels that we already know what those are. So we could just type that out. So A, E, I, O, and U. U. There we go. So we have this list of vowels. And let's say we're given a string, let's say Eskwelabs. We want to check how many vowels are in there. So let's just name. There we go. We have our variables. And what we need to do is for, let's say letter. So again, this could be anything. So I'll name it letter just so when someone else sees my code, they know I'm checking for letters. In name, I check if it's in vowels because that means, let's say, is E in vowels? So it is, so something like that. The first thing we need to do is make sure that this is all in lowercase because my list is all in lowercase. So let's actually do this, name.lower. So there, see, it's now all small. So now we can check for each one. All we need to do is if letter in vowels, what it does is it adds to a sum. Oops. Name it count. There. So we start with a count of 0. Oops. Yep. There we go. And then once the loop is done, all we need to do is print count. Wait. Oh. Plus equals on. Okay. Oh no. Hello. It should output 3. Okay. So it should look like something like this. I'm not sure how it is, and my system is bugging out right now. But yeah, I want you guys to work on this as well as the 2 other exercises. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes to work on these last two exercises. And if you guys have any questions, yeah. Ooh, directory not found. It's weird. Um, where did you find this error? Directory. Is this for the Eskwelabs website?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hi guys, I will be sharing screen instead of Franz, so he's having a technical difficulty. So I'll be helping him out, but yeah, it's still going to be the same. So where did we end, Franz? Around loops, right?
Yep. So we're trying out the last few exercises, and then yeah, we'll just be wrapping it up after this.
All right. Just
Okay,
say
so we stopped at the vowel counter. Hi guys. Sorry, I have to have my camera off. I'm having technical difficulties with my laptop right now, so I'm just on my phone. But yeah, please work on the last two exercises right after the vowel counter. So the leap year and if I'm not mistaken. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to just chat it out. So chat it down, or just unmute your mic if you have any questions. you can share your code or just type done as well in the chat. All right. It's 4:25. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to just chat it again. But the answers are up here. Gerard is sharing them right now. So these are different ways you can solve the first one. And yeah, so I'll leave the RELU as homework. So um, Aral will always be here. You can always chat us or be active in the Facebook group. You can also contact me on LinkedIn. So yeah, there will also be sessions next week for statistics. So stay tuned for that. And that's it from me for this session, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Franz, for conducting this very deep session on basic Python. Unfortunately, we have like technical difficulties on our end, so that's why there are problems. But we have to make up for it. So Franz will be available if you have questions regarding Python, and yep, you can chat me or chat Franz if you have questions on Python or Eskwelabs. So hopefully uh, we will be able to answer them all. So again, just a reminder for everyone, the recordings are uploaded and will be uploaded in our platform. So the first recording is actually uploaded already. It's in the platform at courses.eskwelabs.com. So this is our like main platform for all our programs. So once you sign up through our Aral-Aral Data Science, you could see the recording. So first, go to courses.eskwelabs.com, then go to modules, then scroll down to the learning circles, and then go to the page session you wanted to see the recording and the discussion on. And yep, I'll walk you through it. This is our login page, so make sure to sign up in RLDS, bit.ly Eskwelabs RLDS sign up before going into courses.eskwelabs.com so that you could receive you could activate your account. Oh, the lo-fi music is a bit loud, so I'll just turn it off. Okay. So, yep, hopefully it's okay. So then go to modules and scroll down to the learning circles of the session that you wanted to pick on, and then you will be able to see this. So again, it's uploaded in our platform. So we'll just process the video from on our end, and then we'll upload it. Okay. So about Aral Plus, so I have a question. Until when is the sale for the Aral Plus? So it's always, I mean, it's it's not always sale, but yep, you could the sale is only up until today, 12/12. So and you could use the promo code at in given here at so you could just use it. And then, yep, we also do provide promo codes for those who completed the practice sets for Aral-Aral. So the free version has a lot of practice sets that you could try on. And if you ever use them, let me know so I could also send you a promo code that can help you in like if you want to access Aral-Aral. Okay. So yep, today it's on sale. Since it's 12/12, we're riding on the sale, the nationwide sale of that and Shopee. And here is what an example of you will have in the environment. So there will be a coding. I mean, there will be a lab or notebook that you could use. And then at the right side, you could see the instructors on telling you more on about like Python stuff. Okay. So again, I would like to thank everyone for attending the session. For attending, if you want to become a fellow, so this is the process. Go into the other pre-course, then check on the learning circles to practice your skills, and then take on the assessment. So the assessment will be about Python, statistics, and critical thinking. And then once you have scored high on like distribution, I mean your assessment, you'll then be invited to an admissions interview. So a member of our team will talk to you and interview you on your goals as a future data scientist. So this will happen. And yep, we were launching another data analytics program um, at the same time as next year. So data analytics and data science will run on the same time next year. So check more on our page for the details of both boot camps. And yep. So for next session, we will have statistics for data science. This is very important if you want to like understand and build models for data science, and yeah, build more machine learning models. So yep, register for the next session. I'll just email you guys on the link, but it's just the same link as what we for the first two sessions. So, and make sure to answer the feedback forms so that we could improve our session for the learning circle. If you have any questions, Franz and I will stay here for around 5 minutes so that we could answer the questions that you might have, both for Python and for Eskwelabs. So I'll just play a little bit of music again. So just chat away if you have any questions. So see you guys for next week. So make sure to check your email.
So hello. Someone actually asked me about Omdana and being a machine learning engineer. So Omdana, you could just go to their site. It's just omdana.com if I'm not mistaken, and you can just apply. As a machine learning engineer, it really depends on what you're working with. But again, the main tool you'll be really using is Python, and um, maybe look up on how to do web scraping. But yeah, starting with Python and scikit-learn. So that's something you could look forward to also in Aral-Aral Plus, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's really what you need to get started as a machine learning engineer, and really just try out. So I suggest for people who are interested in AI for good and Omdana as well, just apply. So go to their site, and yeah, so it's a really quick process, and there's actually no interview. So just try and apply, and then you'll be able to work with 40 tech change makers from all around the world. Yeah.
Actually, Bash is also a machine learning engineer at Omden as well, right, Franz? So what
Yeah,
they usually
he's
do
a
at
lead right
Omdena,
now. He's a lead
yeah,
machine learning engineer.
yep. So what they usually do at Omdena is that they solve world problems. So recently, Bash helped on like in terms of something like helping in malaria, if I'm not mistaken, Franz.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He was working on malaria and image processing.
yeah, yeah. So I forgot about what the details, but yeah, he's working on malaria in Africa, I think.
Yeah,
So maybe we could ask him to share more about his experience with machine learning and I mean Omdena for next week. So I'll ask him to share.
yeah. That'd be cool. But yeah, it's really exciting. I actually just kicked off mine, and I'm working towards nonprofit funding. So we're going to optimize it through machine learning, and yeah, really exciting stuff. So if you guys have any more questions about Omdana data science, how to get started, or anything at all, feel free to ask.
All right, I will be ending the call for now. So hopefully I could see you again for the next session. All right, thanks, friends, and bye everyone.
See you guys.
So stay,
Thank you so much for coming.
uh, yep. So stay safe and have a great evening ahead. All right.